I used to hear the old folks sing this song. Oh, I didn't understand what they were singing about because I really didn't know what they were going through. But now that I've grown up to become a man, I understand what they meant when they sang this song. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I get so tired, I get so weak, I get worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on by the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When my way grows dreary, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is almost gone. What's up, everybody? This is Super Mike 2164. Press the like button and press the share button. Hold my hand. What's going on, everybody? What's up, James? What's up, man? Take my hand. But just a quick talk. We're talking about, you know, the God concept. You know, I just wanted to do this show real quick because you know, as the world grows and goes, you know, there's a lot of people out here thinking about the concept of what we call God, or the supreme being, or any concept such as that. And I wanted to go into some of that, you know, because what we're dealing with when we're dealing with religion and this concept that there's no God. Is it just a figment of our imagination? Or maybe we were taught the wrong way to think about this thing called God? Because it doesn't seem like the human being is really working too well without the God concept. What's up? What's up? Yeah. I'm just getting up real quick and just doing this real quick. Yeah, I'm just looking out in the world. People think they're pretty smart without God. And I just want to challenge that a little bit because there's a lot of people out here. We got, you know, the idea that, you know, we're so smart, we're better, and we're more intelligent than the other ancestors. You know, we have all these ancestors that have a concept of God or supreme being.
And every culture, in anything that humans built, you know, if it was anything lasting, anything surrounding records from Sumeria, from Babylon, from Arabia, from the ancient African cultures, Ma'at, you know, all of these systems, all of these societies, they revolved around actually an idea. And it was a sacred idea. India, okay? But we're modern day now. We're 2022. We're smarter than those guys. There's no God. There's no God. So why should we be under control? You see, people say that God is something that it was created by man to control man, as if that's something wrong. You know, we got to think about what we're saying. We got to logically think. You know, if you got 7 billion human beings on the planet, any large societies, with human nature, if there's no rules, if there's no system that is honored over a variety of different people, then what's the system that we're going to go by to settle our disputes? What is our moral code? How do we learn this code? Do we need books to learn this code? What makes us want to read these books? Who teaches this? Why do they teach this? Is this sacred? Is this important? Okay. So what I'm saying here is that the human being and human beings, societies, great societies, they have these things called spiritual systems, ideas. These are, maybe in the past we called them religions, but people want to get smart. Oh, we're going to call it spirituality. It makes us feel better. Oh, no, I don't want to call it spirituality. I want to call it a faith. We change. The bottom line is a religion. It's a religion. It needs to be systematic because you need, it can't be just, there has to be a personal, individualized level to it. And people have used it to use fear. People use fear. And that's true. You're going to go to hell if you don't do what we tell you to do. Devil's going to kill you. He's going to stick you with a pitchfork, burn your ass. And that's going to happen to you forever. Torture. Yeah. Do the right thing. So that's going to teach people to be fearful of the devil, who is bad, and listen to the good God. It worked. It may work for a while. It may work for a good few hundred years. You may get about maybe a couple million, a few million, maybe hundreds of millions of people over a period of maybe 1,000 years to believe in that, based on the technology they have available to them. Based upon that belief, they may build all sorts of societies. So it could work. That's good. What's wrong with that? We can believe in the cabbage god. But you see, the idea has to be strong enough, and it has to have enough truth in it. It has to have enough functionality that the people literally believe it. It must be truly believed. So I can't just come up with the spaghetti God. I can't just come up with the spaghetti God in 2022 and get people to really believe that. You see, the human being, the idea has to be organized. It has to be modernized based on the technology that the people have. And it has to be truly believed, and it has to function. You know, this thing called spirituality, this thing called religion, it does provide a service. We can come up with the weed God, but will people really believe it? I'm serious. Will enough people believe it for us to build a weed society? Will we be able to build generation after generation after generation after generation, 1,000 years of countries revolved around this idea, a set of laws and morality, based on this idea? You see, this is the thing. People who criticize the existing religions that we have, well, let's just take the Abrahamic faiths, but we can also take the Rig Vedas. We can take Buddhisms. These are pretty strong religions. These have stood the test of time. See, so some of us in 2022, we're so smart. We got science. We got Voyager. We got all of the science, knowledge, information. We're so smart. We got technology. You know, we're not doing any damn thing different than any other human really has done. We're not doing much different. You know, they had technology for their day. We have technology for our day. Yeah. But the thing is, what you see, the organizing idea, it has to allow humans to control themselves. Because, see, this is the issue. If you don't have a system of control, which right today is demonized, then what other system? Okay, we're going to have a government to control us. That's our religion, the government. Because that's the atheist religion right now, government and money. The atheist religion is actually government. In the Western world, she said that way. They love government. They live and die for government. Systems of control. You must have a system of control. But see, the government really, that type of control, it relies on, the religion, it allows the human being to control themselves based on a belief. And what that did is it allowed human growth without a lot of outside force, a lot of it, because almost the individuals, each individual kind of were the police, because everybody knew the Bible, everybody knew the Quran, everybody studied it, we repeated it, everybody knew the Torah. It was repeated. Everybody was repeating the Coptic scriptures. They knew, the Buddhist chants, or all of the various things that Confucius said in his tablets. All of those things. People knew those things. So if you were violating one of the moral codes, your own mother would get you. Your brother would say, "Why would you violate the moral code?" Your wife would get you. We didn't need a police force that way. Oh, you violated the moral code. You must go ahead and submit yourself to be killed. Or maybe I should kill you because you violated the moral code and you're too weak to do it yourself. And me being your brother who loves you, I want to teach you a lesson. I'll kill you. For the honor's sake, the honor killing, right? But guess what? This is the police. This is the system of control. This allowed human beings to congregate, build large societies, and now all of the other systems that we enjoy, that atheists enjoy, all the other systems are built on the people believing this idea. And if we look at the Western society right now, it is actually crumbling because now the organizing system, the organizing idea has been debunked. And now that idea is debunked, people understand, well, yeah, there are some lies here, so we don't believe it anymore. Now we see the society crumbling because no one, now you have to control everybody with police. You have to control everyone, with all sorts of oppressive measures. You see, this is so now we got to come up with a better idea, but that's what it's supposed to do. And this is what I wanted to kind of get this message around to people. I'm listening to people. We have and I'll play a little bit of this. Shout out to Taharka Bay. Oh, let's do this here. More sharing, guys. Here it is. Let's do this. I just want to a couple of things. I'm not trying to stay on here that long. What is our definition of religion? Somebody asked this definition of religion, and people,
he was best buddies. I'm not going to say that, but I have been.
Everybody came up with all sorts of different ideas because the definitions are not even. No one even respects a regular definition anymore. I think this is where I want to go. Let's play this part. Hold on. But I'm not going to... I just want y'all to see it because I'm not going to... This is the Copyright Act of 1976, fair use. I'm not going to show the picture on here. I'm just going to play it. And I just want you guys to listen. But this is a guy that he had a certain religion, and he he just goes through some of his thing. We're going to go through a couple pieces of this, and I just want everybody to see. It's just a disappointment factor. And when we get disappointed, the system of control that we had over our lives, our personal boundaries, that discipline, that actually forced us into a pattern of success that allowed success. That forced us into a pattern that allows success. But when you go into a mode where you don't have those boundaries, you don't discipline your boundaries, then you have chaos in your life because you didn't understand what the purpose of the discipline was. So
then you was in the Nation of Islam. After the Nation of Islam, have you ever been in any other religious movements or organizations?
No.
So it was just the church and the Nation of Islam. How long were you in the Nation of Islam?
Well, I was introduced to the teachings of Elijah Muhammad when I was about maybe young as 7.5 or something like that. It was very young when I was introduced to the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. That was the late 1960s.
Okay.
I was introduced to those teachings, and I always wanted to join Elijah Muhammad. I always wanted to join the Nation of Islam. I was very influenced. That's why I was so rebellious, I guess. I was telling you earlier how rebellious and things that I was because of those teachings. And I read what was going on in the South due to my reading of Message to the Black Man in America. And I began to understand the oppression that we was facing in Mississippi.
All right, so this guy, he joined the religion. He believed in it. He was in the Christian religion of, the Black Christian religion in America. Black people do worship differently than a lot of other churches and white churches, Catholics, and all that stuff. So, that's one level. And so when you get programmed in one way, you believe in one way. But then he heard a different idea, which is the Nation of Islam. So he went into that idea because he truly believed in it. It motivated him, right? So he was in there. And I'm just going to play here, and I'm going to scoot forward. I just want to show this here because we're just going to try to get to an idea here.
For two. And I didn't like that. I'm like, that's good to show off temple number 2, but I don't live in Chicago.
Hold on a second.
Years old, of course, you turn to 19 and 20. And as I began to continue to grow up, all that was nice. And I think a lot of people are still caught up in the entertainment and all those thousands of people coming and all the fanfare and the celebrities come out. That gets old when you're doing all this work and you're not getting nothing out of it. Because while we're doing all this, I'm washing dishes at the Marriott Hotel. I'm scrubbing floors. I mean, I'm looking good, on the meetings and stuff like that. But, this is not turning out the way that I thought it would be. It's not working.
Okay, so now he's in the Nation of Islam. He was learning. He was liking what he was doing, but he started to get disappointment because his expectations were not met. Okay, so once people get disappointed, then they start to question, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But you get into an understanding. So
because I'm seeing how I'm struggling, washing dishes, mopping floor, picking up cans, selling metal off the street. Now, my condition is not changing, but Mr. Farrakhan's condition, I remember when he didn't have a pot to piss in. His suit's getting better, shoes getting better, ride getting better. And I know this because I've seen it firsthand.
Right.
Myself and another brother, I joined the Nation of Islam in New York City, but I ended up going to temple number 28 in East St. Louis, Illinois. And since we were so close to...
All right, so now the thing is, what he's saying is that he's working in the church or the mosque or the Nation of Islam facility. He's working, he's creating value for the organization, but he does not see that value translating into his own life. So he's very disappointed. And let me fast forward here. So this causes some disappointment. This is just a case study in general. This is I just thought this was interesting. I'm going through this quick.
Well, notice, we got to let the people know he coming. We did it. And there was no social media back in the 80s. We got out there with the paste. You familiar with the posters back in?
Absolutely. Yeah. On the light posted on the walls, on the stores, everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere. We were throwing them posters up and letting people know, and thousands of people come out on short notice. They take care of business. We need that kind of attitude right now. That type of take care of business attitude. We don't. The Nation of Islam does not take. Don't want to hear excuses. When you're given an order, you carry that order out. They don't want to hear, well, brother, I was coughing last night. Did you carry out your mission? I don't want to hear all that stuff. Are you dead? Well, why you didn't take care? That's the kind of environment that I'm used to being in.
So how did you get from that to saying that now that God is non-existent? Or what is your perception of God first?
I'm going to tell you. I always question, but I didn't know anything else. I always questioned, even when I was a Christian. I was raised in the Baptist church in rural Mississippi. I always questioned, but you know, you don't know. You was born in this. It was given to you. And I'm listening and I'm watching the people, how they behave and they act. I said, how come I don't do that? You see people, you know, in the church, they hollering and screaming and flipping over. And I'm like, why am I not feeling this? I believe in God because that's what I was taught. That's what I know. But something about it, it just wasn't clicking. But I ran with it. And I was sincere in my belief. I was so sincere in my belief, when I became a Muslim, under Farrakhan, the teachers of Elijah Muhammad, we're taught, fear no God but Allah. I go anywhere by myself. I didn't have brothers, gang of brothers with me. I would go to the tavern. I would go to the whole houses. Now, mind you, brother, I didn't even know what a whole house was. Do you know I was 18 years old and didn't know what a prostitute was? I didn't know what a prostitute was. I was 18 years old. Here I am. I got the Final Call newspaper going into massage parlors, you know, and people see me come out of the massage parlor. They think I'm buying a prostitute. I didn't even know what prostitutes was. And it was very nice people. I go in there trying to sell my newspaper. I go in the bars, wherever our people at, I would go there. And I wasn't scared. I would have the Final Call newspaper 1, 2, 3 in the morning in Harlem, messing with the people. I was fired up. I want you to get this teaching. And I wasn't scared. Never. I've had guns put to my head. No, I don't want to hear that stuff. What if I pull this trigger? I had guns put on me 2 times. Because they don't want to hear that Muslim stuff. They don't want to hear that God stuff. I don't want to hear that. And I told them, do it. And I still tell you, do it. Because now I don't have to worry about none of this no more. You did me a favor. I don't have to worry about eating. I don't have to worry about paying.
All right, so I just wanted to get that idea out there, and it's just one perspective, because what I was playing that for. No, the bottom line is it's a pyramid scheme if you think about it. But if you look at what pyramid schemes are, and just societies in general, this is how you build things. You have to have. You see, in order to build power, there has to be levels. And the thing is, there's value there, but you have to create your value. And the people who he was looking at buy suits, because he literally told you, he's seen people before they had anything, but he just so happened to be there and see the person when they started to get a small amount of success. But he did not see that person when they were literally broke as he was. Yeah, exactly. No, seriously. But no, this is good. This is good because this is the issue that people have. See, when people see, let's say, a religion or a idea that they didn't understand, they immediately they don't understand the purpose of some of this stuff. Sometimes they are looking at something truly evil or wrong, but sometimes they're literally not understanding a process, a thing that's in motion. I was looking at how the desert, if we look at the desert, if you look at the dunes in the desert and the rolling of the kind of the waves of the desert, if you were to just walk across the desert, you would see the ripples across the sand. But they actually time-lapse that sand. If you would time-lapse that sand, you would notice that it's just like the waves of an ocean. they show some of that. I don't have time to go through that. But the point is, you can't see it just looking at it because it happens fairly slowly. But if you time lapse it, then you would notice that there's an energy, there's a ripple. You would notice a pattern, you see. And this is the problem with a lot of us because, as human beings, we live, let's say, 90 years at the most, maybe 100 years. But some of the things that need to happen literally takes maybe 300, 400, 500 years, sometimes 1,000 years. We're not worried about that. This is why you have to have these type of ideas. For example, just like America or like even the Western society. Let's just say even from Great Britain, how long that took to was it after Rome, Britannia, 1,000 years. Then you start leading off into America and stuff. So, then you're talking about France and all of those guys and the history from there. And then if you go into India, these things take time. And so human beings have to be on a certain pathway for a sustained period of time in order to develop itself. Yeah. And I'm just kind of getting this out for all of us. A lot of us, we don't understand, like, when you see your society degenerating, then number one, sometimes some of the lies are exposed because some of your ideas are not perfect. So when people start advancing past the ideas, let's say the Santa Claus idea, okay, now we realize that Santa Claus isn't real. We need a better idea. You're going to have a better truth or something close to truth. The more efficient you get in your ideas, it's almost like a computer chip or a central processing unit. You're going to have to advance your technology, right? And even that, these ideas of half this and fourth this and, just categories, I mean, yeah. Because really it's an idea. Scottish is an idea. Irish is an idea. Black is an idea. All of these things are ideas. The human is programmed into these things. And this is cool. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good idea and it's a valid idea because it's an established thing. There's a history behind it. There's a culture behind it. So it is a strong idea. It is an idea that you could lay pride in and really attach yourself to. But we got to understand these are ideas, and ideas are extremely important. And what's happening here is we find some lies in our ideas, or some, let's say that someone told you that I don't know, God was in the sky. Okay, now we got space shuttles, we got satellites and all this stuff. Maybe that was a lie. Okay, so now do we go and just throw the whole entire thing away? No, you reevaluate. You have your debate. You take the good and you move on. You move on with a more efficient idea and you stick with it. That's what it is. Because really the whole thing is, it is the advancement of the human society, the planet, the world. And we have to have a organizing system. We have to have an organizing system. If you don't have an organizing system, you can't build anything, and whatever you build, you can't maintain it. You have to have a loyalty to something. You see? And that loyalty, you have to genuinely, can't be a fake loyalty when you can't. In a human being, just in our soul, we can't really latch on to something that we know in our heart is false. You're not going to really latch onto it because you're going to have so you really have to latch on to something that it has to be the truth. It has to be honest. and that's what we latch on to. But you know, this is something that I just wanted to kind of get off, because a lot of us, we don't understand what a religion is. A religion is the culture, it's your idea, it's what you truly believe. And we have to understand, people they operate based on what they believe, not what's actually true. Now you're trying to get your belief to match what's actually true as much as possible, but apparently it's not that easy. Because the universe keeps throwing new information to us after a while, because we advance, and that's a good thing. Yeah, music is part of my religion, God isn't. But let's deal with that God part. And I wish I had time to bring you up and we would talk about it, but I don't. This is the issue. Let's look at the definitions of God. Okay, so I think God, now some of the definitions of God, obviously, maybe they're not true. But according to the definitions of God that I know, God is the creator. We're here. So if we can think, okay, we can think. We have a organized, for example, we're creating blood all the time. Do we know how we're doing that? You know, are we consciously creating blood, bones, digesting? Are we consciously doing these things? Well, maybe we're not consciously doing it, but we're doing it. What is the intelligence? What is the natural motivation behind what we literally are doing something right now? So we can't. So this is what I'm getting at here is when we say God and we talking about the creator. I mean, it's very likely we can literally just say, if we can't find the most intelligent being out in this universe that we can find is human beings, we have the ability to create. So until you find a better God, we're God. I mean, that's the best we got right now. And in the bottom line, just like we had a song that said, "What if God was like one of us?" Maybe that's the best idea we have right now. Until you get a better idea, that is your God, a human being. If I want to worship a cabbage, I can put a cabbage down. I'll tell the cabbage to give me superpowers to fly to the moon. It may never happen from the cabbage, but if I, tell a human being, let's learn how to fly to the moon, I'll probably get more benefit out of that. So I tend to believe, the ideas that actually man is God. But the way we were taught to look at God, maybe that was a mistake. Animals have gods. Yes, they do. They have things that they basically worship. Food. They worship, what they require to survive. The systems of nature. You got to think about this here. The human being, we think we're so damn smart. There's systems on this planet that if something happens to it, look at this movie with Will Smith called, I forgot I know he has one that's called One Big Rock or something like that. Oh shoot, let's look at this. Let me look this up real quick. Will Smith. Yeah, This Strange Rock. Yeah, look at this movie called This Strange Rock. I'm not going to buy it right now, but it's a nature documentary. Will Smith, he did this a couple of years ago. He has a new one too, but it's a good perspective. Let me share it. I'll share this part of it. Let's look at that. Yeah, look at this. Go pull this up. There's systems on this planet that they're just understanding and just to have oxygen for us to breathe. We're not independent things. You know, we are an independent piece, but we are literally connected to this system. We are a product of nature. Nature produced us for a purpose. You know, that rabbit has a place in the natural order. It's doing something. That lion, that fox, that elephant, you know, that nature, it fits a purpose. And once that purpose doesn't exist, then that animal will go extinct. Yeah, it's a God. Now, see, what I'm having an issue is what we're having is a misunderstood word. You know, this, whatever you were taught to define the word God as, you know, I'm defining it as something different. This is something you're depending on. You have no life without this. Okay. This nature, this system, this is a system that is greater than us. We are not independent. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at as God. Now, is it one tree? No, that one tree is not God. Is it the soil? No, that one soil is not God. Is it the sun? No, that one sun is not God. That star is not God. But there is a system here. There's a system that we are dependent on, without which we have no purpose for existence. You see, is it the planet Earth? No, because we conceivably could elevate out of the planet Earth. But what I'm talking about here, in the human being has the brain powerful enough to literally get close to understanding it. Yeah, I know the Wood Wide Web. Yep, look up the Wood Wide Web. Trees, they communicate with each other. They exchange nutrients, and it's a lot of stuff. But the point is, yeah. But the thing is, what we've been taught to God, you know, maybe the Catholic definition of God is not true. Maybe that's not true. But we can't say there's no God. You see what I mean? When we start saying things like there's no God, this is what I'm saying. We're saying something that we have literally determined we've stopped. That means we're at the pinnacle. And I'm saying that what we're defining as God, or a supreme being, meaning an existence that is independent, that is higher level or high level. Because if you can't find a God more superior to human beings, then the human being is God. That's just the bottom line. In the system that supports the human being, you know, so because we have to have because the human being does not work really well without something sacred. You have to make something sacred. Well, it's very easy to prove. It depends on what we're defining these terms as. Yeah, and you can prove everything is proven. It's just, is it true? Because proof comes out in nature. Like when you go to practice what you believe. If I say 1 + 1 is 8, okay, well, go ahead and take these $2, take this $1, take this second dollar, and you go buy this $8 whatever, this $8 product. You'll end up proving it by trying it out in nature. You see, we live in a universe that is pure truth. See, this is what I'm talking about. The God idea is or the concept. If you don't have a sacred concept, then this is where I think we're getting into a big problem. Right, because people thinking science is God. There's some people that worship science. That's their religion. That's fine. And science, the Western idea of science, that's a religion in my opinion. Because who's to define what science is? Science is independent of establishment. You see? So, like I said, the thing is here, and I'm about to end this off because the bottom line is, if you don't pick a sacred science, if the human being doesn't have a sacred science, then we have no foundation, no standard to order what is and to define what is right and what is wrong. You really don't have a standard, because if you can't verify what is sacred and what is not sacred, life should be sacred to people that are alive, to people who want to survive, to people who want power, to people who want to develop. Life should be sacred. The systems that support life should be sacred. Nature should be sacred. You see, these are the things that religion can be really built around. These are the type of ideas that could sustain large groups. Well, I mean, the thing is, okay, what's God though? Yeah. The thing is, we gotta work with it. How many people people can say that, oh, my dog is God. Okay, that's fine. We got a spaghetti God too. So when we hear that, immediately 99% of the people that hear that, they're not going to rally around an idea like that, because they know that it's actually a joke. Because in 2022, we're too advanced for those level of ideas. Maybe 3,000 years ago, I could have given you a couple of wood statues, and I could have really got you to believe that this is God, and you would have fell for it and truly believed it. You got to realize the human being has to actually believe this. You see, and what I'm saying here is that at the level that we're at as a planet, the type of ideas that will sustain us and keep us from disintegrating to where that we can go out and to advance into other planets and continue to develop the human being to where we won't kill ourselves, or if a giant meteorite comes, we would at least be advanced enough and unified enough to save our lives. If we don't continue to advance ourselves, then the universe will snuff you out. You don't deserve to live. Here's a meteor. You're not advanced enough to prevent yourself from going extinct. There you go. God, I believe that the God is in us. This is what is the cause, the first spark, DNA. This is life. This is the order of the universe, the systems. Meteor is a part. We are a part of a thing, of a puzzle. We are a part of a puzzle. See, and this is what I'm saying, that we got to get to that. We got to get on track to understanding that. What part do we play? But when we start saying things like, no religion, the spaghetti Bible, let's start worshiping. What do people worship? I don't know. Let's start worshiping these toenails here. Well, see, now you see how you can handle the meteor death. I don't want to. I want to be advanced enough to be able to handle that. I want to have our moral code on this planet to say, you know what? Oh, there's a meteor. Oh, we've sufficiently educated our planet. We've sufficiently developed a sustainable moral code that people buy into and truly believe, a system of justice that we could organize the power of the human being. Hey, what's going on, Divide? Yeah, I'm into that. I'm into that. I'm into surviving because I think that's one of the goals of life, to survive. That's part of a spiritual system. So this is, like, this is a conversation. Like I said, I wish I had time enough to actually have this conversation. I might do a part 2 of this. It might be on the weekend. Maybe y'all should come in, because we do need to actually talk about these type of things, because this stuff here is actually part of developing people. And there's people out here, that's because they found a couple lies in their old religion. They threw it all away. Yeah, it's lies in the religion. Come on, they told you lies. Okay, big deal. Yeah, they told us some lies. We found those lies out. Yeah, you thought a big meteor. Yeah, I know, but I think that we can survive a meteor. I think I'm pretty sure. I know we. China's creating a sun, right? So they got a sun. China found water on the moon, which we knew there was water on the moon. And I did a show about that stuff on another channel. But yeah, we got to understand that this is part of the human society. You have to get your moral code in order. Otherwise, there's systems in place in the universe that'll just snuff you out and start us all over again. That's how it does. Now, if you want to be a part of the part that gets taken out, you can be on that part. But I'm literally on the part where I think we want to be the ones that can survive the transitions. I'm pretty sure that we can, and most of us will. Well, enough of us, or the right ones will. I'll say it that way. The right ones will survive. But like I said before, we're going to have to understand that, life is more than about just making some money, getting the right technology. There's a lot of stuff that there's a lot more room to develop with this human brain. Yeah. So, yeah, but it's us developing and advancing ourselves. So anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to go at. I think I wanted to show one other thing here. This is something that I did want to show before I left, because like I said, you got a lot of people. Oh shoot. And I'm just going to show this, and then this will be it there. Hold on. So this is people without God. That's Vegas. The tunnels in Vegas. These are people. I'm just saying, this is the United States. This is Vegas, one of the most sinful cities, I should say. This is where people are living. This is where people live, in these tunnels. This is the homeless in Vegas. But it's all over in California and the West Coast, and people are literally having their entire homes and everything in there. This is what's happening. And people say, "Oh, that's everywhere. It's okay." But just imagine the brain power, or the labor, or whatever. There's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of dreams. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of potential that's being wasted. And that's because we don't have the system set up in the society correct. And so what we do is we waste people, and we kind of And that means we're wasting ideas. We're wasting ideas. We're wasting people. And we don't think it's a big deal. We're killing kids. This is what we're at now. This is where we're at now. And people will argue you to death, to kill their kid. I want to kill my kid. I should have the right to kill my kid before it's born. We don't have any ideas of what to do with people. We don't see people as value. The life is not valuable. Maybe we should just be killed, right? Don't Look Up. I recommend everybody go look at that movie. It was a good movie. This is Tennessee, 2021, November. Attorney General for the state of Tennessee, Herbert Slattery, announced the Sixth Circuit Court appeal decision affirming Tennessee's 48-hour waiting period will not be appealed in the U.S. Supreme Court by the plaintiffs in this case. The latest development means that the lawsuit is over and the waiting period will remain law in effect in Tennessee. In his press release, Slattery stated, "We are grateful to the court that the court recognized the validity of the law passed by the people's representatives and did not substitute its own judgment for the policy decision made by the legislator and the governor." The waiting period law was the first piece of legislation for Tennessee's right to life advocated after the passage of Amendment 1 in 2014. The waiting period has proven effective in allowing women to take time to consider alternatives to abortion, according to Tennessee Right to Life. The group says the waiting period is a plus for those considering an abortion for themselves and their unborn children. There's some people that don't like that. People don't need to wait. As soon as you have the idea to kill your kid, just kill it. And there's no other alternatives. But this is the problem. The problem is, no, and of course they show a black woman there, because actually that's the target there. We really, really want them to kill as many of their kids as possible, so we have less of them. But this is just stuff that I just wanted to tell us. We got a lot of issues, and we can't handle them all at one time. And the strongest organizing tool that we have as human society, there's nothing beats a religion. There's no organizing power for human beings that beat over a religion. Men ruling over women's rights. Human rights. But men and women, that's a good division point. Women should decide for women, but there still should be a sanctity of life. Because, the man does have the right to care about his kid, so there's a whole lot. Actually, maybe we'll do that talk too. That's a whole conversation too. Men, is it a natural process, or is that invasion of women's rights? When you ask if the woman had a baby and she's pregnant after a certain period of time, does she have the right to murder the kid, without, she could just give the child to the father if the father wants the child, So anyway, that's pretty much all I want to do, guys. And I'm going to leave off with this song because I think it's a valid song. And that's it. Peace.
Remember when I was growing up, I used to hear the old folks sing this song. Oh, I didn't understand what they were singing about because I really didn't know what they were going through. But now that I've grown up to become a man, I understand what they meant when they sang this song. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I get so tired, I get so weak, I get worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me home by the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When my way grows dreary, precious Lord, linger here. When my life is gone, almost gone.